Siege's machine pistols are some of its most lethal, fast-firing weapons. This makes them a great backup, capable of beating primary weapons. In this video I'll rank them on a few stats, mainly fire rate and damage, which I'll combine into their time to kill. I'll also have a look at their recoil and magazine size. Now, two more things before we start. Reload speed is very similar across all machine pistols, so I won't mention it. Their damage drop-off is identical. They deal full damage until 18 meters and then slowly fall off to 60% damage at 28 meters. First up, we've got the worst machine pistol in Siege, the C75. It can be found on Dokkaebi, Vigil, Thorn and Sentry. You might be surprised by this placement if you only look at its stats, which are solid for a machine pistol. It has a below average fire rate of 1000, but it deals 35 damage, the highest of all machine pistols. This lets the C75 3-shot Ash, giving it the fastest time to kill versus 1-armors, at only 120 milliseconds. Against all other operators, it has a time to kill of 180 milliseconds, which is slightly below average. Now, it's time to talk about the elephant in the room, its iron sights. The C75 is the only machine pistol that can only use iron sights, and man, these things are awful. They take up a lot of the center of the screen, and the notches between the front and rear sights are so small that you can't even see what you're aiming at. This can be somewhat mitigated by not using any barrel attachments, and only ADSing once you see your target. But this leaves you extremely exposed when fighting against good players. Next, we've got the SP SMG9, which can be found on Clash and Kali. Its stats are somewhat disappointing. It has a fire rate of 980 RPM, but unlike the C75, it can't 3-shot Ash without an extended barrel. This gives it a TTK of 184 milliseconds against all armor types, the lowest of all machine pistols. Its magazine size is on the smaller end at 20. The MP9 has one trick up its sleeve though, and that's its recoil, which is the most controllable out of all machine pistols. The other machine pistols are still controllable with some practice, but if you have issues with recoil control or are just starting out with machine pistols, the MP9 is a solid pick. C tier. The only downside is that you'll have to play Clash or Kali. Next is the Bearing 9, found on Tachanka, Glaz, Echo, Hibana and Thunderbird. It's the most average weapon on this list, with a fire rate of 1100 RPM and a damage output of 33. This gives it a TTK of 164 milliseconds against all operators, which is pretty average. On top of this, it's got a magazine size of 25 and tricky but controllable recoil. With all of its stats being average, there's only one fitting tier for it, B tier. After that, we find the SMG-12, which is used by Vigil, Dokkaebi and Warden. Its main selling point is a large capacity of 32 and an insane fire rate of 1270 RPM. This gives it a great TTK of 142 against Ash and Buck. It's slightly lacking in the damage category however, dealing only 28 damage, the lowest of its class. This makes it a 5-shot kill versus Fuse, upping its TTK to 189 milliseconds. One other drawback of the SMG-12 is its recoil, which is by far the highest out of all machine pistols. With some practice, it's usable for sure, but I wouldn't recommend using it at longer ranges, especially because of its high horizontal recoil. Ranking the SMG-12 is a bit tricky, because of its high skill floor and skill ceiling, but I believe that there's one machine pistol that's just as lethal as the SMG-12 while being much easier to use. Because of this, the SMG-12 goes into the A tier. The machine pistol I was talking about is the SMG-11, found on Smoke, Mute, Amaru and Solis. It matches the SMG-12 in fire rate while dealing more damage. Its 32 damage still isn't enough to 3-shot anyone without an extended barrel. However, it does mean that you can take down Fuse with just 4 shots. This gives the great all-around TTK of 142 milliseconds. The cherry on top is its great controllability. The SMG-11's recoil is almost entirely vertical, which is very easy to control. This even makes it a viable pick at ranges where the SMG-12 would be unusable. The SMG-11 does have one downside though, its magazine size of only 16. This can make it tricky to fight multiple opponents. However, I think that its upsides, the insane lethality and great controllability, far outweigh the downsides. So I'm placing the SMG-11 in the S tier. And that's it for this video. I'm not sure what I'm going to cover next, so there will be a poll on my channel where you can vote on which category you want to see next. I want to thank you all for making it this far, and please consider subscribing for more content like this. I'll see you in the next one.